What is up, everybody? It is your girl, Martha D. Staub, owner of MDMC Entertainment. And today we're talking about branding and why it's important. All right. So right now I'm simultaneously live on Facebook, YouTube, and IG. Now, a lot of these episodes are being downloaded and the audio is being sent over to the podcast of Business Building and Beyond. So that's right. Every time that we go live with a show for Business Building and Beyond, it is going to our podcast. So if you are a podcast listener, you can definitely check out Business Building and Beyond on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Spotify. So if you are just too busy and you don't know where we are or what we do, or, I know people have lives. I know 11 o'clock on a Thursday morning seems like a lot to people. I know people have jobs and stuff, which is totally fine. But if you are one of those people that is just constantly on the go and you want to support us and you don't know how to, go check out the podcasts. We're working on getting onto other platforms as well. So yeah, super exciting stuff. I'm really excited for the future of this. And the development will be moving on to a podcast platform as well. So you'll get to see them live in video, and then you'll get to hear them on a podcast as well. So that is coming within the next couple of weeks. That's one thing I can proudly announce. The boys of the development are doing a fantastic job. They just interviewed Brimstone this week. And as you can see, I don't have a guest today. I want to take it back to a marketing fundamental so that we can kind of keep the value going here as to what we do here at MDMC Entertainment. I want to really stress on the fact that we are a digital marketing agency, and we work with anybody and everybody that needs to have their voice heard, have their marketing spread out to maybe increase their numbers in sales. We're very diverse in that. And not only do we work in entertainment, but we also work in other spheres of anything. We work in various industries. We work in fashion. We work in home improvement, architecture, interior design. We work in so many other avenues. We've done a lot of things, and we've made people a lot of money. So we are savvy in what we do. And so here in this specific episode, I really want to get back to the development side, the learning aspect. So we want to talk about today about branding. Now, branding is super, super important. And I've seen a lot of companies out there that are, just posting to post. And it's just kind of sad because there's no rhyme or reason to the postings. They're just posting to, just get the word out about something. And in true fashion, it's just sloppy posting. And, we'll talk more. This is more of a social media based topic. So you guys can really get out a pen and paper if you want, or you can replay this video back, and we're going to get right into it. When you post for something, if you have a company, if you are a marketing, coordinator for a company, or you're just trying to be an entrepreneur on your own, the most important thing that you can do is have a reason for your postings. I know a lot of people out there harp on the numbers that they get within their postings, and whether it's the likes, whether it's the follows that they're getting on social media platforms. Let me tell you something, none of that matters. What matters the most is that you have an audience. And if you have an audience that's connecting with your content, and they're talking to you, and they're working with you, and they see what you're doing, that's what's the most important thing. And I know we live in a very weird world right now where, it's all about your numbers. It's all about this. And I get it. I'm a marketer. I have been doing this for years, and I understand completely how numbers work. And yeah, sometimes that is a dividing, situation where you're like, all right, that number is low for whatever reason. We got to go back and figure out why that is the way it is. And this is one of the reasons why us on MDMC, we switch up a lot of things that we've been doing, and we'll actually go through and watch it. Speaking of the development, we do have Lewis in the house. Oh, and his cute cosplay. That's my favorite cosplay of Lewis, by the way. But, in order to do this effectively, you have to have a reason. So we're going to get into the reasoning. So I'm going to actually show you the MDMC Instagram page. Share. Let me share a specific window. I have a lot of things up you guys can't see. All right. So as you can see, MDMC Entertainment, we have, 28,000 followers. Thank you to all the followers. We're actually live on IG right now as well. So thank you guys. Appreciate the love. So one of the things that is super important when you go into branding is you look at your logo. Your logo, if you're a company or an entrepreneur or whatever your case may be, your logo should be front and center at all times. Now, elements of my logo have been put into my highlights here. But the development is different because they are the East Coast brand. So of course their logo is a different color, but YouTube, websites, behind the scenes, clients, branding, Comic-Cons, all of these fit our branding. LAX Fan Fest doesn't, because that was an event we went to. So that's their logo. PowCon, we went to an event like that. So that's why those two are very different, but across the board, it's mostly our branding colors of pink, white, and black. When you get down to the actual part of the feed, what's important here is that you see that we have actually incorporated a lot of the MDMC logo and everything. Of course, like I said, the development has a different color. But, we want to make sure that people know what the hell they're looking at. Because, the attention span of people looking at IG is literally 2 seconds, and you have to capture somebody's attention in 2 seconds. And right now, in all of our postings, we make it a clear point to make sure we put our logo where in all of our aspects. Because if we're not putting the logo anywhere, no one's going to know what the hell this is. One of the things I started doing, because it seemed to be popular at the time, was to do a specific grid design. So you'll see a marketing quote in the middle of this, and you can see that's it looks really cool on the phone, maybe not on the actual desktop, but we did want to do something different where we did have quotes, we put our logo, and something that revolves something around marketing. And of course, we're hyping all of our content. We got the origins here. We got, the development stuff over here, promoting other things. I think it was Nemo's birthday. Happy birthday, Nemo. So it's important that you put that logo everywhere. In some cases, we are sharing some of our guests' work. So we'll share, like Brent Macbeth's video. We shared it because, he's a talented tapper, and we wanted to show the world of some of his work. Same with Jalen. We had Jalen on a couple of weeks back. We wanted to show his content and some of the work that he's done. So of course we put in the MDMC logo. Yes, this is New York's logo. And we wanted to make sure that we describe what it is, but we also brand it as well. So all this shit right here is branding. You want to make sure you deliver the message as quickly as possible and as smoothly as possible. Right here, social media interns needed, our wonderful author, Katrina Blake, we put her books on here, so we put the logo on there as well. Here's another great one. We did the Back to Action project. I created these flyers. And when I created these flyers, one of the things that we ended up doing, because this was a production between myself and 1DR Productions, it was obviously, because you are doing a project that is based off of a real television show or things like that, you can't use the same imagery from that specific show, because that's called, I think it's like it's a stealing of a trademark. You can't really use it for yourself. You'll get hit with a copyright. I got hit with a copyright and it was totally bogus. So I know a couple things about copyright. So a lot of the images that you see within like some of the quotes and stuff, these are all stock free photos. So rule of thumb, if you are going to be doing a social media campaign and you don't have the content and you're going to build something completely off of something that's not there, use stock free photos that you're not going to get a copyright for. So you can easily look up free stock photos. Pexels is a good one. There's a bunch. Actually, I should probably put a list in of my favorite stock free photo places so you can check it out. I build everything on Canva. So, it's obviously the easiest way to get everything you need on here. Oh, hey, Andre's on here. What is up, Andre? You're really great about marketing streamlined by simulating designs. Absolutely. Thank you. Those flyers are so sick. They really add the feel to the project. It made us feel like the Formers Field showcase. That's exactly the point. One of the things that I loved about, where's the Backdack project at? Okay. Because we couldn't use Power Ranger imagery, we couldn't use the Power Ranger lightning bolt. I found one and I was like, this, when you're designing, it's just one of those things that you feel. I can't really teach people how to design because I feel like designing is like an art. It's like you can't tell an artist how to draw. You can't tell an artist what to draw, what to make. It just happens. And so when we got the Back to the Action project, I saw the yellow lightning bolt and I was like, that would actually be really cool if it was black and yellow. And I don't know why the black and yellow. I tried the red, I tried different colors, but for some reason the yellow just worked. And I said, we're sticking with yellow. And Brendan said, hey, send me your logo. We're going to change up the logos. And so MDMC's logo changed for the first time ever with the Back to Action project. And so now you can see it's nice and yellow and white. It's so weird to see. My logo, I chose pink and black and white. And I told this about, I think last week in an interview. I was working at a really boring job. And we were rebranding a specific part of another business. Part of the business is going to be like a division of another part of the business. And so one of the things that I ended up doing, actually, we'll show Bernard. Bernard's a hot little stud there. We ended up just looking at samples of other businesses and what they were doing. And for some reason, I think I was just, I was not happy with my situation. I wish I was making more money. All the things that you go through when you're in a shit job. And I saw a brochure that was black and pink. And I said, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to own a business and it's going to be black and pink. And little did I know, like 4 or 5 years later, that's what ended up happening. So yeah, it's kind of weird. It trips me up a little bit when I see the logo change to a different color, but it's Brendan's project. I let it slide. Then the development, Lewis and Eddie and Alex of Facts of Life decided to change my colors to New York colors for the development. So as you can see, the development is our secondary show on YouTube and it's great. And they also added in their own twist. So they changed up the logo to the orange, the blue, and the gray. So another part of this branding is anytime that you see our logo and the differentiations between the colors, you know which one we're talking about. Or you should be if you're paying attention. If you're not, you're like, what the hell? But you should be paying attention. So yeah, I think when it comes to branding, you want to make sure that all of your stuff is fluid, that you're not doing a post without your logo, because it just looks weird and people aren't going to know what you're talking about. They're just going to think it's a random post out there. Same with this flyer right here, calling all New York business owners. We put the MDMC logo on the side. It's the blue, the green, the blue, the orange, and the gray because it's for the development. So branding is important. It conveys the message. It tells people who you are. That's the only post I didn't put a logo on. My bad. We're here teaching about branding and I didn't do it there. But it is what it is. Let's see. What's another great example here? This was the first flyer I made for the Back to Action project. And that was where I was playing around with the idea. And then eventually we ended up coming to this one, which I thought was better because I wanted it to feel like a movie poster. Let's see here. We're going to be putting up a couple more tips. I know that Instagram is pissing everyone off lately. We have another one coming out here within the next couple of days, so stay tuned. Did I put the logo there? I did. See? Look at that logo. let's see. Excuse me. Let's see here. In some cases, if there's like a social media thing, like we obviously won't post our logo on here, but we're like Zoom meetings were the best. Yeah, we were talking business there. When we got our 2K followers. When was that? 19 weeks ago. So May 15th. We're about to hit 3K and it's not even October. Wow. We're going to hit 3K by this month, guaranteed. That's some quick growth there. Okay. Let's see here. It was Manu's birthday. Let's see. We're promoting a project here. Here's a great one. So my blog. MDMC Entertainment does have a website. Go to mdmcentertainment.com. That's going to get a revamp here soon. I think within starting into 2021, it's going to be trapped. It's going to be trashed, and we're going to start something new with a whole new design. I have better ideas now. That website has been holding up for at least 2 years, so it's due for an update. So one of the things that I ended up doing here was what did I end up doing here? So this was a blog I wrote. This was right when COVID hit, around April 19th, April 10th is when I posted this. So one of the things that I ended up doing was I wanted to talk about COVID and why the Comic-Con circuit was going to be closed, because a lot of other shows were planning on going on. And, our entertainment aspect of our division of MDMC Entertainment is shut down at the moment. To an extent, we are still working with talent and things like that for other marketing things and email marketing and things like that. So it's not completely shut down, but the traveling aspect and the Comic-Con aspect of this is. So I wanted to really talk about why we should wait till next year for COVID to be done and over with and for these shows to continue. By the way, LA Comic-Con is bound and determined to take off and continue as planned for December. I don't know what's going to happen there, and I kind of want to go just because it's a Comic-Con. It's been a while. It's like I don't know. Worlds without Comic-Cons are weird. But anyway, so in the context of this post, I wanted to make sure that people saw what I was talking about. So I found this as a stock photo. Find stock photos. I put the blog title up here. I put the logo, and then I said where you can find it, mdmcentertainment.com. And then, of course, I wrote a little blurb about it. So even when you're hyping up your blog posts, I know at one point I had a really cool blog post format or template that I was using, but I really like that one. And I don't really write a lot of blogs. If I do, you'll see it on here. Our business model. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the MDMC business model one day because when COVID hit, people were like, "I'm so sorry, your business is out of whack." I'm like, "Excuse me, we're thriving. Look at all this shit we're doing over here." MDMC Entertainment operates in two silos. We do entertainment and digital marketing. Obviously, we do marketing for cons. We travel to shows. We're marketing indie projects. Of course, because all of Hollywood shut down, there was no going on set anywhere. There was none of that. So the entertainment portion shut down probably about 10%. This is thriving 100% right now, the digital marketing aspect. So I wanted to convey that message because people are thinking that maybe we were just out for the count. Absolutely not. So I wanted to make a point. New video dropping. This was right at the time before I started doing business building and beyond. So I was dropping videos about some of the tours we'd gone on. That was the main objective of this YouTube channel. But of course, COVID threw us into another tizzy. So this is where we are. Here's a great example of one of our clients, Final Touch Jewelry. Now, when I talk about branding, this is what I mean. Final Touch Jewelry is a luxury design jewelry house. And so one of the things that I love to do is I wanted to keep this one simple because the logo was black and gold. And when you're playing with a gold element in design, it's very hard unless you have very great software. I use Canva for everything. I'm not a Photoshop person. I used to be, but I don't have some of the skills that some of the really cool basic skills to pull off some really cool Photoshop things. I always have to outsource that to Alex of Facts of Life. Sorry, Alex. Thank you. Love you. But I wanted to keep this simple. So black and white was the focal point of this backdrop right here. Now, White, because obviously you're putting a jewel onto a space. You don't want it to be with a black background. You want everyone to see every detail of this entire gorgeous ring. So I kept it with a white background with a black frame. And then I put the Final Touch logo off to the side. The reason being is you want people to see this when they're going through their feed or they're going through Facebook, that they know who the hell this ring belongs to. And you're like, oh, holy shit, this is Final Touch Jewelry. Let me go check them out. And then you go to their page and you see other stuff. Unfortunately, the owner of Final Touch Jewelry passed away. And so now there's Final Touch Jewelry itself has shut down. So you can't actually go to the Instagram anymore. But a reemergence, a reconfiguring of the brand is being done at the moment. So it will be announced here soon. Let me see. Our banner. Let me tell you about this banner. I'm in love with this banner right here. Again, when you go to shows and stuff, you want to be able to make sure that you're catching people's attention. And this could be a whole thing in and of itself. But, of course, our logo's out there. Same with our cards and everything. We'll definitely get to that later. Let me see. Fred was our guest at LAX Fan Fest. However, this was the LAX Fan Fest event, so we couldn't put our logo on here, but they did. So they know about branding. Good job, LAX Fan Fest. Anytime I go to a city, I always try to take a picture with my business card just because I think it's a really cool backdrop. Plus, I love Chicago, and maybe after COVID's over, we'll get to work out there. When we made our announcement, I made this little graphic. It's fun. It's, LAX Fan Fest. Let's see. Interns needed. Anytime we do a post regarding the company, put the logo. Let me see here. Oh, let me tell you something real quick. I'm going to spill some tea real quick for you. I don't know. I happen to be very good at what I do. 100%. I love what I do. But I have had stuff ripped off from me in the past. And one of the reasons why some of the things that I've posted, like, where is this? Like, okay, for example, I wrote this quote, right? I usually watermark within a post the MDMC handle because I have had quotes ripped off from me, especially some of these prettier ones up here. Like some of these have been ripped off. As you can see, there's like a watermark right there of MDMC handle. I am very good at what I do, and all of my stuff is stealable at this point. But I actually had a girl completely lift everything I wrote per verbatim on her stuff. And this girl lives in Brooklyn. And I don't care. There's her info. This is how good I am. I'm pissed, but I love it. I made these flyers to show what our services were. Digital strategy, content, social media, AdWords, email marketing. Okay. That girl put everything I wrote here onto her business cards. And so I called her out on it. And when I called her out on it, she blocked me. So, and I told her, if I see any of your shit again, I will send you a cease and desist. Let me tell you something. We do not play around with people stealing our stuff. And especially now that MDMC is a corporation, we will send a cease and desist. Plain and simple. I'm not tolerating this stuff anymore. I have had so much stuff stolen from me over the years. And it's a testament of the fact that, you know what? I do some pretty damn good work. Okay. I get it. But if you don't want to hire me and you want to steal my stuff and lift it, how much you want to bet I will find out about it? I will find out about it 100%. When we announced that we got our clients, we obviously branded it, put our logo on it. So I think you guys get the idea of what we're doing here. I think some of our older content, let me actually go down here. Let me get to the bottom of this because this is what I used to do. When I was starting out MDMC, and this was back in March of 2019 when I thought about completely devoting all of my time to it. I decided to get some content going. I revamped it. I actually took down all of the old posts, and I wanted to do this format where it was like frame, quote, frame, quote, frame, quote. And so when you look at it, I mean, it looks really cool, you know, because these specific designs on Instagram catches people's eyes, and I don't know, there's like, I think in the world of bloggers and in some entrepreneurs, people are very obsessed with that grid look. And the problem is you can't always continue that grid look. I'm sorry. I don't have all nude tones. So I'm not going to do my whole thing nude, or I'm not going to do it all blue. It's just weird. So I try to do some consistency. Thank you, Andre. Yeah. Most people can't claim even though it's one of those traits. It's true though. I think it's so crazy that this crazy girl just lifted my shit. It was ridiculous. Here's a good one where I was actually showing some of my services, and I put up here digital services and what does that exactly mean? Think tank, things like that. So I think you get the idea of what I mean by branding. People should know your brand. It's like McDonald's. Every time you see a yellow M, you know that's McDonald's. Every time you see the Burger King logo, you know that's Burger King, okay? I'm trying to get to that level where when you see a pink and black logo, you know it's you. Oh, Jonathan has a question for me here on IG. What is up? Send me your question. He's at the handle ITSS_Jonathan_. He has a question. So take it away, Jonathan. Send me the question. I'll keep talking. So yeah. Oh, I love this post. Marketing is really just flirting. It's so true. Alrighty. So let me actually, while we wait for Jonathan to answer, okay, I guess he left. Whatever. If you got a question, throw it in. Let's see here. Hold on. I saw something interesting here. All right, let me get to Jaypreev Fashion. So this is a client of mine. So Jaypreev, we're in the middle of a revamp here. So that's probably one of the reasons why you haven't seen any of the content here. With Jaypreev's social media, I wanted to be able to do something different. This is a fashion house. So they're selling items from various other luxury brands. So we wanted to make sure we highlighted which brands we had on here. And I'll show you the stories here in a minute because I think stories are super important. And if you have seen our MDMC, Instagram stories and things like that, definitely check out how we brand those as well. But we'll dive into Jaypreev for a minute. Jaypreev Fashion, they're based out of Dallas. They have a ton of really pretty clothes that we're selling. And we're selling, and I mean this, I actually acquired this account at the very beginning of this inception of their entrepreneurship. And so halfway through, poor Jaypreev, they've had a lot of issues. They've had deaths and they've had a couple of things happen business-wise. So they've hit a rough patch. So send good vibes to Jaypreev, but they're in the middle of a revamp right now. So one of the things that I really love to do with these specific things, because this is my first time actually working with a fashion house, I want to make sure that people understood where this top was coming from. So I put the Jaypreev logo in the middle. Okay. Now these posts are a little bit harder to work with because you are dealing with two photos on one outlay. So I wanted to keep some of these simple. So anytime that we had a model in the post, I did not put a border around it. I wanted the clothes to speak for themselves. So you have to remember, specifically if you're trying to sell something online, you want the focus of whatever it is that you're selling to be the focus. So I kept it simple. This beautiful girl right here has this beautiful top that I want. And, the Jaypreev logo is smack dab in the middle. At the bottom, it's not overtaking. It's not overpowering. It just lays there perfectly. When we announced the brand of the month, we did brand of the month. This this lettering right here is actually matched the color of what's in the logo itself. So looks kind of cool. So that has that little off-brand like taupe kind of color, and then of course the logo of the brand that we were hyping that month. And then there are some pieces that don't have a model in them. And so I said, all right, this is kind of weird. This is where it gets funny. And I probably could have and probably should have gone with this taupe color to go for the banner. But I was too worried that people wouldn't get that taupe color was in the logo, because the logo is kind of a weird, it's not one of those colors that dominates, if you know what I mean. So I figured black was easy. So a simple black border, put the logo on the side. I did that with everything. Same thing. Carry high-end designer brands. The brand of the month. Here we go. You know, remembering those who served. Okay, I did that. You know, I anytime that you do a holiday post or any type of specific thing that's away from whatever the business is, put the logo in it. So yeah, that Mother's Day. Put the JPreve logo right there. Okay. So yeah, this is branding. You want to be able to make sure, because you will see a cute outfit. You're like, yo, that's so cute. Where can I find that? And most times in IG or Facebook or wherever you're looking at it at, you're not going to know where it's coming from. So brand it so that way you understand. All right. Let me see here. I do have something else. You should show the shirt first and then the model also. The funny thing about this one, Andre, is sometimes, and this is why it's getting redone a little bit, the shirt itself was never photographed by itself. So the pictures I got were the two models. It's like front and back. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we can work with that. And then sometimes we got these mannequin pictures, which are great. I like mannequin pictures versus stuff that's on a table. I think this was hanging somewhere. It was photoshopped. They've got green screen technology. This was obviously a table. This one looked funny, but like some of these pictures I'm not really thrilled with. I didn't like the way some of them were done, but at the same time, this client's in Dallas. I'm not there, but I do send notes. So when it comes down to something like that, oh, that was Lewis who said that. Was it Lewis? No. Yeah, it was Lewis. Sorry. Let me actually see if I can take you back to, FC for you. All right. So about 2 years ago, I got a client. This is a nonprofit. Okay. So let me take you back to the beginning of this. Let me show you the difference that what you get with the MDMC finesse. Okay. FC for you, they help entrepreneurs with stuff. I don't really know what they do. I'm sorry. But FC for you, they're based out of San Diego. So this is their IG profile. Okay. And so I was referred to them by somebody, and they said, we need help because we're doing a race and we want people to look at our stuff and things like that. And so I was like, all right. So this was their profile. And I'm just like, oof, this is a little rough. And the reason I say it's a little rough is because there's not that flow. There's not that consistency. So what I ended up doing was, as a preliminary tester, I did this design, and I was like, all right, this might work. This might not. Oh, wait, no, was that mine? Maybe not. I feel like mine, no, that was not mine. Sorry. It looks like something I did, but it wasn't. So, this was my first one. Here we go. This sounds, okay, this looks a lot more interesting. All right, so this was my first run through with it. I wanted to do something simple. This was a, second annual 5K family run. So I obviously wanted to do a stock photo of someone running, obviously put in their logo and put in, what are the proceeds for, what else is there to do, the contact information, the location, date, and time. So that was it. And then so after that, I kind of just took over everything. And so here you can see the MDMC finesse is what I call it, because if you look from here to here, it's night and day. So obviously we got the branding going here. We got the logo on the side. We've got, register today. We got the links, put a countdown 3 months away, sponsorship. So I did the similar deal here with the Instagram grid design. So I kept the sponsorships to the side here. And I thought, that looks great. We can put all this other fun stuff here, become a vendor. This took a lot of time. And I'm not even gonna sugarcoat how much this took, but it took a lot. People run in tutus. I don't run, as you can see, on the fluffy side, so I'm not a runner by any means. But yeah, I guess that's what they do. But one of the things I wanted to highlight, because no one really knew what this was for, it's like proceeds will go to military care packages. So I found a really cool image of, Marines deploying. I'm assuming those are Marines, whatever. I come from a Marine Corps household, so yeah, this is the MDMC finesse. Okay. And we did this for about a month and a half, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. And then I ended up not working with them anymore. And then this is what the profile goes back to. So it's night and day, guys. It's night and day on how specifically you could brand your stuff and to make it look appealing to people. The objective is you have to get the message across in a short amount of time, because people's attention spans are so short. And, yes, you should go see them in Dallas. I was actually thinking about it, Lewis. I don't know if you're still on here or not. I'll talk to you about this after the fact. But yeah, I think it's branding is just, it's one of those things. And oh gosh, let me see if I can actually, okay, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, there's some things that are proprietary I can't show on here. It kind of scares me a little bit. I don't want something to slip. But for example, I'll show you this of what we're working on for ourselves. I was playing around yesterday with a, let me see if that's it. Yeah. So I was playing around yesterday with some fonts, and someone had sent me a post like, oh yeah, you should do something similar to this. I'm like, all right. So let me actually blow this up a little bit. So obviously we do a lot of social media marketing, content creation, all that stuff. So, I want to make a post like, hey, don't have time to post every day. This is what we'll do. And so it's one of our key branding photos that we've used on several of our branding pieces that we've thrown out there. That's on here. I liked this font and I wanted to use it somewhere. So it's not exactly the same same font that I use for other things, but it's a little different. So I wanted just to try it out for a post. And then, of course, you can find mdmcentertainment.com, and then, of course, my email. So this is one of those lead generating types of posts that you want people to engage with, that you want people to, be like, oh, maybe I should call them. My shit sucks, Talk to me after. I will talk to you after. Let me see here. Let me see if I can show you some other things here. Let me see. Okay, I think I could show you some of this. Hold on a second. Okay, so we have a portfolio. MDMC Entertainment does, actually, I'll show you the profile. I'll show you the portfolio first, and then I'll get into some of the pieces that are in that portfolio. MDMC, complete portfolio. Okay. So we do have a portfolio. Anytime that a client or a potential client comes through to us, they say, show me some of your work. So I have a portfolio here. And so I ended up showing them as you can see, some of this is branded. So it has our colors, it has our information. And so that's what the portfolio looks like. Let me get to a point where I can't show you what's in here. Sorry, guys. Thanks for your patience. Let me see. Email marketing. Okay. Let's see. That's another client here. I will switch it back to here. All right. Sorry, guys. There's some things I can't show you guys as much as I would love to. I just can't. So as you can see, we do include some of our work. So social media samples, we have like the Back to Action project. Some of Roger's stuff. This needs to be updated because those numbers have changed. Those numbers have definitely changed. Justin Nemo, I helped him quite a bit at the beginning with his social media. That's why he's successful now. So, you know, I remember when Justin had like 400 followers on IG. Now he's like big dog. MightyCon, Comic-Con, that was actually a fun project I had for at least 6 months. They ended up changing a lot of their management. So when the management change happens, you know, lots of things change. So it is what it is. They're great people. Go check them out when Comic-Cons can open again. One of the things I loved about them, though, I had a clean slate and they didn't care what I did. So they're just like, get our content out there. Actually, that's a really good sample. I might blow that up for you guys to see. But the objective of this is that this is our portfolio. So this is the sampling. This is our font that we use, our colors, and, you know, what we've done, you know. When you are branding, and branding doesn't just stop in social media, it expands all over your area. Let me actually bring up MightyCon. So that's actually a really good one. I loved what I did with them. And it's so funny because the drastic changes between this, one of the things I love about being a marketer is people hire you and say, can you make our stuff better? And I'm like, sure. Yeah, why not? And then I go in and change it and they're like, whoa, this is so different. I'm like, yeah, it's because it looks dope now. So let me actually share it with you. MightyCon was a client of mine for a couple of months. Like I said, new management, so their stuff changed a little bit. But this is the bottom of their IG account. So this is what they did. They did have an idea at hand. You know, they had the, you know, let's put the MightyCon logo in the corner. You know, so they were thinking about it. They had the idea, but they just didn't execute it as best as they should have. And so I think this was right around the time I came in. It's right here. So I wanted to be able to put which show it was, so Madison, and then the logo. Now, the reason I had to do it basic like this was because they wanted all of their work featured. And I get it, but the problem is when you have a tiny square and you have to put all of your information in this tiny square to make people convinced to go to the show. And so this to me looked weird and I didn't like it. It was not something I liked, but at the same time, you know, your client is your boss, so you kind of have to do what they say. So this is what I did, okay? And I didn't like it. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do something different. So I wanted it to feel special. I wanted it to feel like this was an event you had to be at. And so I started to come up with these. I mean, that's better than this, you know? And it has the branding, it has the show, and it has the person attending. So, yeah, this improved drastically. And then, of course, I would share if we got tagged in something, I would reshare it. And then I was like, all right, every show had a different color. Every show had a different logo. So because this is a show, MightyCon is the main hub, it also had like 9 other shows across the country. So Milwaukee was red, so Madison was orange. So I was like, all right, let's stay with the Comic-Con theme and let's change it to a different thing. So this is what I ended up doing with, obviously, the, you know, this to me looks better than what I was doing before. New Orleans, this was my favorite one, you know. This is, it's night and day, you know, posting up all of everyone who's coming. DuPage was green, so I changed it to green. You know, it's a great way to keep the main brand on point, but the show on point. And the show had different colors, so it's all branding all in one. This to me was a lot of fun. I had a blast. St. Louis was black and white, so I went back to the black and white feel. But New Orleans was my favorite because that was just a fun show. So yeah, I mean, and then after a while, yeah, I was encouraging people to tag them in the posts, you know, like if you're there, tag us, we'll share your stuff. So we were sharing quite a few people's things on there. And that's another thing about it is that's a great way to get engagement. If you tag if someone is tagging your stuff, share it back, engage with your audience, talk to your audience. They care about you. Obviously, they're talking to you. We try to get back to everybody as soon as we possibly can, and especially on YouTube and things like that. So this was a really great thing going here. Quad Cities, I forgot about this one, you know. And then you can tell I stopped working with them. Hold on. Where is it at? Right around here. I think their last post was, what year is that? 2018? And since then, they have not really done anything. So it's, man, it just, that's the MDMC finesse, guys. I wish I can get back with that because that was actually a really fun show. But, you know, I have seen a drastic drop off. And let me tell you, a lot of my clients, some have stuck around forever. Hello, IG. Sorry, I'm multi filming at the moment, but hello to my IG audience. But here's the thing. The clients stick with me sometimes they stick with me for the long haul, and some don't. And some, like, it's just like MightyCon, they switched hands and I ended up getting the boot because they were allocating money. And actually I did that really cheap, guys. When this was a side hustle job. This was before MDMC was a full-time thing. I think I only got paid like $100 to do all of those things per show. It was very cheap. I don't charge that much now though. But this is what I mean. And some companies out there, because I charge, it depends on and someone asked me the other day, like, how the hell do you figure out how to charge people? I look at the scope of the entire thing and I tear the thing apart. I tear apart a business with a sledgehammer. And I'm like, all right, here's where you're missing here, 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 and here. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. And so I'm like, all right, here's how I'm going to fix this. So content creation, everything I just showed you, takes a lot of time. That takes at least, you know, for a month's worth of content, 6 to 10 hours. And then on top of that, you're scheduling the content. So you got to write out all the content that you're going to post into your scheduling software. And it has to all make sense. And it all has to make sense for the reason of why you're posting. Like I said, don't just post to post. You know, a lot of people think, oh, I missed a day of posting. Let me just throw random shit out there. Not even. You know, MDMC's account, there's a post for a reason. Just yesterday, we did one for your consideration for the Recording Academy. You know, one of our interviewees is up for, you know, wants his record to be considered for an award. That was with purpose. You know, yes, it's not an MDMC branded content, but we do that to help other people. And that's what I mean is, like, if you're tagged in stuff, share the love, repost, reshare. Same with Facebook. If someone is sharing your stuff and you can see who shares your stuff on Facebook, tell them, you know, thank you for sharing. You know, there has to be a rhyme and reason for what you do. And the branding aspect of everyone's business, because there's something right now that I'm looking at, and I have seen this, and I've actually torn apart accounts, Instagram accounts from people because they just were not doing the right thing. And I'll make a really good example, and I'll keep names out of it. But I was telling a friend of mine, your Instagram account sucks. Why? What do you mean why? Look at it. And I actually broke down I said, let me look at your account. I'm going to make a PDF for you, and I'm going to show you what you need to do. And I actually made the PDF, and I've actually thought about releasing it, but I don't know if I want to yet because I think I have to get his permission to do so. But I implemented a lot of things that go into, I didn't even show you the stories. Let me go back over there. But you have to be able to implement something that is just, it's cohesive, it pops, it shows what you're doing. Let's see. Andre says, I like the first idea a lot, but the change you made pops so much better. Very true. Very true. Your feed should be almost like a story. It's a progression of your brand and commerce. Yes, exactly. Andre, thank you. Let me actually go back to, because I didn't tell you about the stories. Stories are super important too. You need to be able to show what you're doing. Let me see here. I think, so obviously I started off with a brand here. And here I wanted to show that you can find it online and what collection it's from, the picture of the clothing and the logo on the bottom. And that's what I did throughout this entire time. Stories are just as important. Okay. People love stories. I think that is where most of your time on IG is taken because people are always looking at stories. I do that. I can get carried away for a minute because I will be on IG and I will be just flipping through and I'm like, yo, that would make a great story. I'm gonna put it on my story. So brand your stories, brand your brand, and brand it all on your social media. Brand it on your portfolio. Brand it on other pieces of your marketing pieces. There are so many ways you can do this, and it's so easy to do. I use Canva for everything. I was just telling my friend the other day, I said, I do not use Photoshop because Photoshop is a lot harder to get a post out. I'd rather use this, and Canva's like dummy proof. Actually, I don't know if I can really show you. Let me see. Not really. I can't really show you my Canva account because there's a lot of things in here that I can't really put out to the public, and this will be on a video and then it'll be screenshotted and then people will know what I'm doing. Never mind. Just go to canva.com. If you have no design experience, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, Canva will give you design templates to do anything from your IG posts, IG stories, Facebook covers, LinkedIn covers, invitations, menus, presentations. I do all of my presentations through Canva. In fact, when I was meeting with the client, I tore apart their company in a presentation I did on Canva. So, if you're not that savvy and you don't think you're that creative, go to Canva. That will just turn on all of your creativity. And that's one of the reasons why the MDMC brand looks so good. So I hope this has answered a bunch of questions for you guys. I hope this was informative. Thank you guys so much for being so interactive in this episode. I appreciate it. Seriously, go out and support any entrepreneur that's coming up, any newbie entrepreneur. The social media likes are great. We appreciate them. Comments are great. We'll get back to you. Definitely help us out. Any like, any comment, any sharing is super, super helpful. We appreciate it with all of our hearts. Please go check out the development. They just interviewed Brimstone on Tuesday. It's now on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, go back to the Facebook page, into the videos. You'll see all the videos there. Go check out the Facts of Life. They dropped a interview with Lewis this week. The Facts of Life podcast, you can find them on Instagram. It's facts _OF_life, LYFE. Go check them out. You can find all their links there. Also, please don't forget, MDMC Entertainment, Business Building and Beyond is now on podcasts. We are now on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Spotify. So if you can't sit here and watch me for an hour, you can take me on the go and we'll talk. If you have questions, write out some questions, hit me into the DMs, slide into the DMs on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can contact us. Email, whatever. If you have questions about a specific episode, I will get back to you. So that is it, guys. I thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next episode. Have a great one. Bye.